All right, let's move along. We're on the road to UFC 228. As I said at the top of the show, 228 goes down this Saturday night in Dallas, Texas. It's Tyron Woodley defending his welterweight title against Darren Till. There's only one man on this planet who has fought both men, and he is our next guest. He is the one and only Wonderboy Thompson, still one of the top contenders at 170. Good to talk to him again. Steven, how are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's good to talk to you as always, and I know that you're squeezing us in before you're going to pick up kids, right? You're going to pick up kids for your school?
You got it, man. I'm actually in the bus right now. I'm going to be sitting at this school waiting for these youngins to come out, so we got time.
You're unbelievable, Steve. It's unbelievable that you still continue to do this. So you go pick them up in your bus, and then you bring them back to your school. Do you also take them home, or do you just take them to the school?
No, we just take them to the school. You know, we have people there that help them with the homework, get them ready for the karate classes during the day. So the kids that I pick up are actually in our karate program. So we get them ready for their classes, and parents come up and pick them up at 6:15 later on this evening. So
what a man!
It's actually pretty cool.
Unbelievable. Okay, let's talk about you first, Steven. How is your knee feeling? Tell us about your health overall.
Feeling good, man. Been back into training right now. You know, training two times a day. You know, of course, I'm always doing that. But you know, the swelling in my left knee is kind of slowing me down just a little bit. After training, the knee swells up, and I got to work it back down. So it kind of leads me to believe it's something more than just an MCL tear. Of course, that should be healed up by now, but hopefully it's no meniscus. But, you know, we're working it back down, and this is nothing that I haven't seen before, so I'm not too worried about it.
Are you going to get it checked out?
Yeah, I'm going to get it looked at hopefully this week or next. I leave for New York here pretty soon, actually Wednesday. I'll be out there. Just got off the phone with Chris Weidman, actually, so we're looking to team up and get together and get some training in, hopefully before his fight with Rockhold.
Okay, that's interesting. So you're going to help mimic Rockhold as he prepares for that fight.
You know it, man. I've been a part of his camp since the first Anderson Silva fight, and now we're family, so he's got to take me.
Of course, yes, you are his brother-in-law. So after the Till fight in May, did you actually have surgery on your knee?
No, it wasn't surgery worthy. I just torn the MCL. Thank goodness it was just the MCL, which is it doesn't need surgery to heal up. But during that fight, yeah, man, I could tell a big difference in the stabilization of my left knee. Wasn't able to angle off like I really wanted to, so it caused some problems while I was out there. But it's feeling fine now. Working the angles like I want to, and just kind of slowly getting back into the process of things, you know.
Do you feel like you injured the knee because of the kicks to your knee that are somewhat controversial? Some people don't like them. John Jones made them famous, so to speak. Rampage has talked about it. Do you feel like that's why you injured your knee?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely the side kick that did it to the knee, and you know they're called oblique kicks.
Yes,
but you know most of the time they don't hit the oblique; it's straight into the knee, and that's where I got hit, and I felt some crunching going on. When I got hit the first time, and he saw it. And if you go back and watch, I kind of shake my leg out a little bit, and then after that, he throws like 2 or 3 more right at the same place. And you know, I've torn every ligament in my left leg, and I'll be 36 in February. So I take another ACL or injury again, that could be my career. So I had to kind of back off and kind of change the strategy up a little bit and wait on him to come in because I couldn't work my angles. I was afraid that. It would be more than just the MCL. You know, one wrong twist and there goes my ACL again and have to have surgery. You know, the first surgery I was out for 3 years, you know. Wow. So that for me would not be good.
I know we spoke just a couple of days after the fight back in May. You were gracious enough to come on and you believed back then that you won the fight. Here we are almost 4 months later. Do you still believe? Are you even more confident that you won that fight against Darren Till?
No, usually after a fight, I go back and watch the fight once, or with my coaches to kind of see what I, should go back and work on, even if it's a win or a loss. But I went back and watched this fight over and over again, and I still believe that I won that fight. It was kind of a whole crazy thing that week with him not making weight and having an hour to get it back off, and he comes back even heavier, and he didn't really care. To him, it was, I don't think he was trying to make weight, to be honest with you. And that's the second time he's missed weight. So, which leads you to believe, hey, hopefully he makes weight this time. He didn't make 171. We'll see if he makes 170, which is kind of what everybody's kind of thinking at this point. He's a big welterweight, big guy, should be fighting at 185, but we'll see if he makes weight for this fight. I saw an interview not too long ago where somebody had shared it with me, and everybody was asking about his weight, and he said it was crap, man. He said, I hate cutting weight. It's kind of crap right now. So, yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
What was your reaction, Steven, after all of that, thinking you won the fight, knowing that he missed weight, believing that he didn't even try to make weight, and then he gets a title shot? How did you react to that news?
Man, I no words to really describe. I mean, the UFC is saying, why are people not making weight? Well, it's obvious. There's no real consequence to it. I mean, you got guys who are low. He was ranked number 8 at the time. Wasn't making a whole lot of money, as compared to what a lot of the people are making in the UFC. So sure, why not miss weight and move up the rankings? And of course, he gets the title shot, which the money he's making now is it's worth it. It made it all worth not making weight the first time and moving up the rankings. And now he's got a title shot. So, UFC's got to know by now why these guys aren't making weight, because there's no real consequences for it. For a title shot, if you're fighting for the title and don't make weight, you can't fight for the title. So why does it make it any difference for anybody trying to move up the rankings? You should be able to do that. I'm a professional, and when I say I make weight, I sign that contract to make weight, and by golly, I'm going to do it, and that's just what being a professional is all about.
Is it disheartening?
Now you're getting people. Yeah, it really is. But, there's really nothing that I can, I can't punish these guys myself. What can I really do about it? It really, I'm just kind of throwing my hands up in the air right now. What do we do? What do we do? And I think you're going to see more and more of it because there are no real consequences for it. These guys are going to move up rankings and make more money than the fight they did before. So why not do that?
It's wild, and I'm not trying to pick on Darren here, but this is, we've seen this with other people as well. You are ineligible to win a fight of the night bonus if you miss weight, as far as the UFC is concerned, but you could get a title shot after missing weight.
Right.
Isn't that a little strange?
It is. It really is. I'm not the only one, I think, so that, he doesn't. It's just not. It's not fair, man. Of course, life isn't fair, but all you can do is grit your teeth and train harder, and next time I step in the octagon, be better than I was before, because there's nothing you can do about it. What can we do? Hopefully, we can, all get on the same page with the fighters, and hopefully we can make something happen. But as of right now, there's nothing we can do about it, man. It's crap. It really is. It's just crap.
When you say all of us getting on the same page, what do you mean by that? Like, are you when you say that, I think association, I think union. Am I looking too far into this? What are you trying to say by that?
Yeah, man. The fighters in general, the fans. Because it's the organization that's allowing this to happen. They're allowing it to happen, and you've seen it more than once. And now you got Dana White saying, and other people saying, hey, let's go back to the old weigh-ins, because people were making weight then. But then you had crappier fights. We weren't weighing in or rehydrating till 5 o'clock in the evening. You know what I mean? And when I went back and think about how I made weight, it's like, man, how did I make weight then? That's compared to what we have now, it's so much easier, so much healthier on the body to be able to rehydrate, earlier in the day. Now there was talk of us doing it, going back to the old weigh-ins, because people weren't making weight. That's not the case. It's the fact that it's just another way of cheating, I think.
Would you suggest that if you miss weight, you are ineligible to get a title shot after a win as well? Is that what you'd like to see at the very least?
Yeah. Not just a title shot, but just more repercussions behind not making weight. Maybe more percentage of the purse, not allowing the guy to make weight, or not allowing the guys to move up in rankings. I don't know. Hopefully, we can figure something out. But, as long as there's just a little bit, a slap on the wrist, people are going to keep doing it. People are going to, sure, I'll give up 30% of my purse this time and move up the rankings. Next time I fight, I'm making a killing. I got a title shot, so I'm making tons of money now. It's worth it.
The reality is he did get the title shot. He's fighting this weekend against Tyron Woodley.
Yes, he is.
And you have such amazing insight, because you're the only man to have ever fought both of these individuals. And one can argue that, although you are technically 0-2-1 against them, that you won at least one of those fights. All very close, some of them controversial as well. Who do you favor going into it?
It's very difficult to pick at this point because everybody in the top five are just. It's very difficult to pick a fighter, man. To pick somebody, especially at this level, they're just so high. They're just that good. Anything can happen. I mean, you go back and watch the Luke Rockhold and Bisping fight. I could have sworn. I mean, everybody knew Luke Rockhold was going to win that fight, and of course, you saw what happened. But it's going to be. I think it's going to be an awesome fight. Darren Till definitely has a chance to go out there and put him away. Everybody knows Tyron doesn't do very well with very aggressive guys that just that make him work. And I think Darren is going to do that. Darren's he's a big welterweight. He's a very aggressive guy. He's going to come forward and he's going to make Tyron work. Tyron is one of those guys who waits on his opportunity, as you saw against myself. He waits on that right hand. He's very explosive. Of course, he hits you with it. He's going to put you away. But I think Darren Till definitely has the ability to go out there and not just finish him. But, if he doesn't finish him, then I think he's just going to outwork him. Everybody knows that Tyron, he gasses out with guys like that. So I think that's going to be my prediction right now. Is Darren Till? They're both very smart guys. Tyron Woodley is very cerebral, and he goes out and he studies his opponents. If you go back and watch my fight against Darren Till, anytime I would throw a punch, he would lean really far back and kind of give up his hips. I think Tyron's going to look to take this guy down.
So wait, does that mean that you are leaning towards Darren Till becoming champion?
Actually, you know what? If that does happen, hopefully that will put me up, closer to a fight. I mean, that would be the right way to go. But as you know, it's very hard to predict. But yeah, man, I'm kind of leaning that way. It's like that little needle's leaning towards, Till a little bit.
Did you see them square off? Do you feel like size will be a major factor? If, of course, he makes weight and everything is kosher, do you feel like size will be a factor in this one?
I think so. I think if Darren goes out there and uses his weight against Tyron, I think it will. I think he'll tire Tyron out. Of course, he's got the reach advantage as well, I believe. He's a big guy. I mean, the strongest guy I've faced in the UFC is Tyron. He's very strong, physically strong. But the biggest welterweight is definitely Till. And he could definitely use that to his advantage against Tyron. Laying on him, just moving forward, and just making Tyron work, I think is the strategy to go. And, if it was me, I would definitely be doing that, using that strategy as well, instead of waiting. If you wait, Tyron can put you away. As you saw against me, the second time I fought him, I thought he was going to be a little more aggressive. I didn't expect him to actually back up, which kind of threw me off a little bit. It was kind of a waiting game, to be honest with you. And, he was very explosive, and he waited on me to come in, which led him to land that punch in the fifth round. That kind of put me down.
And so you're probably rooting for Till because you have the two fights against Tyron. That would open things up for a rematch, right? That's probably your best bet if he sticks around at 170, which I don't even think he will. That's the weird thing about this. I feel like he only has like one or two more fights left at 170.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to move up. He's even said himself, he's like, I don't even know why the UFC's let me fight it this way. I'm a big guy. Why, they should be putting me in jail, murdering these guys at this weight. It's crazy, some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth. But, yeah, man, I'm kind of leaning towards that. Hopefully, if he does go out there and does what I know he can, and if he's smart about it, he could win. And that will set me up perfectly, I think, for another rematch. Of course, you got guys who are above me. You got, Colby Covington, I hear, maybe getting that next shot. You got Usman moving up the rankings as well. I think if something happens, I think he's the filler, right? Am I right to say that? So you got those guys, but I feel that I won that last fight against Till, and I think a lot of fans agree with me. And if he does win, I would love to have that rematch.
There was a report last week from, I do believe, MMA Junkie that said that you were in talks to fight Robbie Lawler in January. Is that still the case?
To be honest with you, I would love to fight Robbie. I've been wanting to fight this guy for a long time. I'm a big fan of him. Back when he fought in the Strike Force days, just knocking dudes out. He's just one of those grinders, man. He don't care. He just goes out there and fights, which is why I'm a big fan of his. Been wanting to fight this guy for a while. So I know he's coming off of a knee injury. His last fight, He's had surgery that was successful. I know he's back into training. But, it's kind of up in the air, to be honest with you. I really don't know. I don't know. Not really sure if he's going to be ready or not, let alone the first ESPN. That would be an honor to fight on the first ESPN show. Of course, after that last fight with Till, Dana said, he's he kind of owes me one, Till not making weight, still letting the fight, going through with the fight. He told me he could have whatever fight I wanted, and we'll see, man. We'll see.
Have they actually even offered you or said that this is something that they want pending his knee, your knee? Like, is this being talked about at all?
I mean, it was, yeah, it was, coming off of a knee injury. He was coming off a knee injury, kind of coming in, being healthy pretty much at the same time. There was some early talks about it, but I'm not really sure right now. I'm not really sure where Lawler is, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And I know the fans are too. I think that's something they really want to see. So if it does happen, freaking awesome. If not, well, we'll see who else.
Do I have time for one more question?
Ask away, my friend.
Okay, I was just curious what you thought about last week on the show. Tyron Woodley came on. He's like, yeah, it's nice and good that the UFC has Usman standing by, but if Till misses weight, I'm not fighting this guy on 24 hours notice. I'm preparing to fight Darren Till. I'm not preparing to fight Kamaru Usman. You can have anyone standing by, but I'm a professional, and if this fight doesn't, happen at 170, I'm going to fight him a little above, or I'm not going to fight anyone at all. How do you feel about that? As someone, you are the ultimate professional. Do you agree with what Tyron is saying? Do you understand where he is coming from here?
I do. I kind of do. I mean, I think he wants to go out there and punish somebody, and that's the guy that he's got on his mind right now, and that's Till. Even though Till doesn't make weight, if it was me, just like he was in my shoes, I had a ton of people support me in Liverpool. I know. Is it the Liverpoolians? I think
yes,
you call they call themselves.
Yes.
They were excited about the fight. I want to be a professional. I trained hard for that fight. And everybody knows, man, training camps are not cheap, man. They're expensive. Bringing fighters in, bringing coaches in. You want to, and that's the guy that you're really focused on through the whole camp. Every time I hit a bag, I picture Darren Till. Every time I sidekick my dad in the chest, him holding the target or sparring somebody, that's the guy I want to face. So I kind of see where Tyron's coming from, so to speak. But that said, I know he's trying to hold on to that title as long as possible. So even if the fight doesn't happen, or if Darren doesn't make weight, of course he gets to hold on to the belt. So there you go.
Great insight, Steven. I really appreciate this. I hope your knee gets well soon. Say hello to those kids for us. Thank you so much for doing this before you go pick them up. You're always great to talk to. Such a mensch, and I hope that we get to see you back in there sooner rather than later. Thanks so much.
You got it, my friend. Always a pleasure. Hopefully we can do it again sometime, and have a great one, sir.
Same to you. There he is, the one and only Steven Wonderboy Thompson. Asked him to come on at around 2:25, told me he has to go pick up kids from school if we could do it a little earlier. I mean, how do you not love the guy? And interesting insight as far as the Till Woodley fight. He says that he's leaning right now towards Darren Till. That would be very interesting. Size may play a factor. And also interesting to hear him say that Woodley gets a little tired, even though that Woodley, came on a little late. He did lay back a lot in his two fights against Stephen Thompson, but later in the fight, he was able to capitalize on some big moments, which probably sealed the deal for him in the second fight, and in the first fight, perhaps led to the draw. Both fights super close. He's fought them 3 times, both guys. He's 0-2-1, 2 losses and a draw, and you can make a very strong case that he won at least one of those. Which one? Tough to say, but all as close as can be. I mean, you cannot get closer fights than that. So that's the main event on Saturday, UFC 228.